Hi YouTube, this is Anthony and I'm a Hong Kong collector. So today I want to talk about a very special thing that I actually noticed right now in different auctions around the world. And the first thing I would talk about is that like for Sotheby's, for example, on May like 11th, 2020, there is actually a contemporary showcase on manga, and this is all because of the latest like the previous there was a show in the British Museum talking about different manga and different Japanese culture related to animations and so on. So they actually put forward auction on this topic, and then you could see that it actually has a really high popularity. Like for like Pokemon, you could see that it owes into around a price of like $52,000 Hong Kong dollars, and then some of the maybe like popular scenes, which is from I think this is from the movie or so. Okay, and the Pikachu and with the Togepi and etc. And then you can see that the price actually went to like as high as $187,000, which is a really triggering thing to notice. And because we are actually collectors and we also do a lot of collectible investment, so that is also a very clear idea of a new portfolio that might different people might start to take after this sale has gone. And if you have noticed from like different Japanese websites or like Japanese auction houses, which puts a lot of these kind of animation arts maybe like in practice or maybe like in shops and so on, the stocks are clearing really fast, and now you can't even find enough supply, even if you're a collector or you collected way beforehand. So I would say that this is actually hot pancakes right now. Okay, so you can see that apart from Pokemon, you can see like some other shows from like Doraemon. You can see some shows from Sailor Moon, Kiki's Delivery Service, which is around, from the Ghibli studio. The prices are actually really high. And you can see that there's Dragon Balls. Also, some prices you can actually put up for reference, like is like a $118,000, $275,000. Okay, so I would like to say in this video, I would like to talk about what is cel art and why is cel art becoming so famous or so popular right now, especially not only in prices, but maybe like different people, they start collecting from around the world, and is not only like something in Hong Kong or something, is something like worldwide. Like even if you ask some collectors, maybe like from America, from Canada, or from France, or even like Spain and so on, you can see a lot of different collectors starting to actually invest and actually having collect their favorite shows. And I don't have to talk too much about animations, right? Because I know if you're on my video, if you're actually subscribing my video, if you haven't, please subscribe, okay? Yeah, you will see that I collect a lot of different memory stuff, maybe like some from my childhood, some stuff from the previous centuries and so on. But this one is a little bit special, is that I have never seen any collectible. The prices and everything is rising so fast. Yeah, that's the special thing right now. Yeah, because like some of the shows in previous years, maybe like several years ago, the price might be only like half or maybe like from 1/3 of the price right now, but the price is keeping on rising. And I think the most reason behind this is that even the international auction house like Sotheby's, like Christie's, like Poly Auctions and so on, you can see a lot of different auction houses are actually putting these artworks in their showcases, and something which is only directed to, maybe we could call higher end or maybe high end collectors. Okay, so and another thing I would like to emphasize is that you would actually see that like people right now collecting maybe like original artworks and so on, those are something from the last century, or maybe like something which is rather maybe like a higher age hobby or so on. But now we are talking about like people from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s, which they were born, and then they actually have seen the show on the TV or maybe like on the web, and then they start collecting. And what's so different between is that I don't think many people have a much understanding of cel. Is that is actually, I would say that it is an extinct, okay, a technique of animation production. Okay, why do I say so? Is that I could actually give you some examples of some of my own collectibles, and then you can actually have a look yourself. Okay, like for a normal animation production, apart from the storyline, you have to like write a script. You have to get a lot of people to start working. It's a little bit different, but a normal movie, because like for normal movies, you have to like gather the cast and everything, but not for like animation, because everything is actually drawn or written or script like what it is, right? But a little bit different from the previous animation making, or like from now, which animations are made by computer and so on, like CG techniques are used. It people can actually, if you have to like produce an animation, you actually have to draw everything on pencil, and then you have to like start coloring everything. Sorry for that. Yeah, you have to start coloring everything like that, and then you have to do it on paper, and then after you put it on paper, you can actually have to draw it or paint it on what we called a celluloid. Okay, this is actually a very special technique which is used to paint these. Why is it so? Is because for the like cel animation, when you have to produce it, you have to like combine everything like a flip book. So you have to draw a lots and lots of cells, which we call these cells. And then if you go fast forward through a machine, you could actually see it move. Okay, so that's something very similar, like when you draw the straw man with a flip book when you were young, okay, when you were a child or maybe like kindergarten or something. Yeah, that's the technique we're talking about right now. But the special thing I'm talking is that these are, why did I say it's extinct, is because when computer become more popular in animation production, like right now, everything is used is CG. You don't have to make any more cells anymore. So I'm not. If you're like familiar with Japanese animations, you would notice that from the 90s to the maybe like the start of like 2000, you can see that a lot of shows, their production art and everything, it looks very strange at first. Like they're starting to be like 3D stuff, which I particularly did not like at all. Okay, like 3D stuff. And then you could see that apart from 3D stuff, you would see something like 2D mixed 3D, or the coloring seems a little bit strange. Yeah, and that's all because of the change in the technique of animation production. Yeah, because everything is computer generated. You don't have to like draw every frame. So that's the difference, which makes the which we call like fluidity not so smooth at first. But of course, because of the technique improvement, you will see that it actually improved a lot. But what I'm talking about is how rare and why these cel is so popular nowadays is because the older animations which worked it in the studio for like this kind of technique, they either retired at a high age, or because everything is generated by computer, so you don't have to have so much manpower, so on. It's all because of the cost, which made the quality of animation actually change throughout time. And people are starting to collect this kind of artwork is because all of them are actually made by popular or maybe like very famous animators, and they have been doing like it for the whole show. But people would always talk about it. It's like, Anthony, why do I have to like invest something that is made only for the show and something? I would say that cel in particular is something mostly related to what you see on the screen. That's the most direct collectibles you can get, because that's exactly used it in the production of the show. Like for a certain scene you really like, you saw it when you were a child, And you can collect a lot of different stuff. Like you can collect figures of the characters. You can collect like trading card game, something like that. But the most direct thing is the art which the animation or the animator actually drew in order to produce the animation. So that is something that is firsthand, I would say, the most direct and the holy grail of what we call animation collectibles. When you see like trading card games become very popular, but in collecting and investing and so on, cel art is going to exceed it. That's what I think, okay? Because it's really simple. Trading card game, any trading card you find, there will be multiples, even if it's the rarest card, okay? But for like Pokemon, cel, or anything, any animation, okay, the only thing you would see is only one, okay? You can't find another piece because every scene, every frame, there's only one June. Okay, so that is the most special thing I would always emphasize, is that is unique. And unique is what I mean is that you can put any price on it. You can put 1,000, you can put 1,000,000, and then I can stop you, and then I can refuse you saying it's too expensive. If you really want it, or if you really like the scene, you have to pay or not pay, okay? You don't have any other decisions. You can't find another seller because it is unique. Okay, that's art. Okay, that is also why people like to auction. Okay, in art, like maybe like in anything like poetry, or maybe like in really artwork like cows, like Basquiat, and so on. You can pay millions and millions of dollars. Okay, why? It's because it is unique, and that is one collectible that you can't find in anything else. You can't find it in trading card games because there are multiples in the market. Even if you have like a Pokemon illustrator, okay, a card that I once have, okay, even if you have that and it costs like 2.7 million Hong Kong dollars, okay, but still, art is comparatively right now is actually cheaper and more rare. Okay, so if you really believe in the relationship between rarity and cost and price and so on, I would strongly recommend you to actually read more. Maybe not from me, but from different articles from different YouTubers or anything else. Something which talks about like cel art, what is animation art, how to distinguish how expensive it is, and etc. I may, okay, if this becomes more popular, or maybe like everybody keep on sharing my videos and so on, I would like make another video on it and on everything in English, okay, instead of in Cantonese, in Chinese, okay, which I have been doing for throughout the year, okay. So that is something which is really special, okay. If you're actually a cel collector, or if you actually love animations, these are the something that you really would want to collect. Okay, this is actually from the scene when Kadabra first appeared in the show. Okay, and this is something which is an artwork that you can actually frame it, you can actually collect it, and can actually brag about it because it is the only piece in the world. And another thing that you have to know is that studios actually destroyed more than 90% of the cells that they used it in the production of shows, because Japanese people at first, they don't consider it as a collectibles. They consider it only as a byproduct of producing the show. So when the show was finally aired and then it was successful and everything, they just dump everything and they destroyed everything that they have for these shows. But later on, when different collectors start asking them, especially like foreign collectors, they start asking the studio, I would like to have a true copy of the animator's drawing or etc. and something like that. They then find that people actually like collecting these stuff. So they actually kept a little bit of them and then sold to the market. So that is also why the quantity of the items right now is so low. You have like a lot of episodes for shows, but why is the quantity of the cells so little compared to the whole series. Okay, that is the reason why. And I would say you can do sort of more like information gathering and so on, or fact check what we also use in Hong Kong right now, is that go to the studios and go to their archives and etc. You will find that even the studios themselves, they haven't kept enough for holding exhibitions. So, like for example, like Cardcaptor Sakura, their clamp comparatively did it better in archive saving. So you can see some, I wouldn't say a lot, but some cells collections still in their archives, right? But if you go to Toa, okay, and then you go have a look at the Dragon Ball cells, or maybe like a Sailor Moon cells, or like the etc. Hunter x Hunter and so on, you would actually see very surprisingly is that they actually didn't keep most of their original artworks. And even if you go to the Taiwan and see their exhibitions, or you go to Japan or to see their exhibitions, it started surprises me is that everything, I wouldn't say everything, okay, most of the stuff you see there are photocopies. And if you ask for the original, they would say that, oh, sorry, but the originals are gone way before some of them are destroyed. So we only have the information here. We kept it in computer and everything and scanned it and everything, but the original is gone. Okay, so that is also a reason why people are going crazy and finding the original artworks, because even the studio didn't kept it and didn't treasure it. That is also a reason why I would always emphasize is that if you start cell collecting, you don't have to buy a lot. You just start it, and then you will soon notice how rare some of the scenes are and how expensive it can go. But still, I would say that it's comparatively cheaper when a card, like a trading card, can go up to like 2.7 million Hong Kong dollars. Okay, we are talking here is only like I would say it doesn't even reach 1 million. Okay, we're just talking about even the rarest cells right now is around like maybe like 200,000 Hong Kong dollars, 300 Hong Kong thousand Hong Kong dollars, something like that. And it's still a long way. But we are talking about some artworks which are unique instead of some cards which have multiple copies, and most importantly, they are only printed. Okay, printed, which means that it is not drawn, is not unique. You can actually open a machine and turn on a machine and then produce much more than you think. Okay, so even if it's like limited cards, like maybe like limited 2000 or maybe limited 3000 or something like that, there's still 3000 copies. But I'm sorry to say, even for the longest sequence or the shortest sequence, most sequence go over only like 10 to 12 sequences, which is scenes, like we talk about frames. Okay, so even if the scene you really like and you see it on TV, there at most will be only have like 10 to 12 around. And I would say this this data, what I'm talking about is that if every single cell was kept, but as I have said before, 90% were destroyed. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, and another thing that even if it's kept, if there is movement, like a mouth movement, somebody's talking and everything, usually there will be different layers to replace, and then there will only be one copy that you can actually get, which have the whole image. Okay, that's something I would actually emphasize maybe on the later videos if you like, if you share, if many people ask me questions, okay, I might do more on it, especially in English. Okay, if you know Chinese, understand Chinese, you can go over my other videos. And I have actually talked a lot about how to differentiate rarity, why some certain scenes are most expensive, and why are they rare, what happened, other stories behind the animation production, etc. Okay, so if you're interested, okay, it might be a little bit boring for this one because I want to emphasize more on data. Okay, it's about how I recommend this collectible and how and why do I recommend you starting now, because I would say the supply is not enough even today. Okay, so if you start like have maybe like a few months later or maybe in a year later, you will soon find that that difference will become really critical in what you can get for your collection. Okay, that's all I want to say today. Okay, if you think it's too much word, I'm sorry. Okay, but I really want to emphasize, okay, on the price and on why you should really start. Okay, hope that you enjoy the hobby and then participate. Okay, I can do another video or maybe like only one that sells which the collection of what I actually have, but I might do that later. Okay, so if you're interested, okay, please follow, please like, please subscribe my channel, and if more comments I could say, I will do another one and then another one. Okay, I really want to like promote this hobby and make more people understand that animation is not so easy to be made, and you have to go over very and a lot of effort before true animation can be aired on TV. Okay, that's all I want to say. Okay, Kadabra.